Hey guys, this is episode 3. It is all about our verbal and nonverbal communication. Um, we're going to start out talking about some of our just individual characteristics of our verbal communication. For me personally, I take after my mom and I sometimes say words wrong or I get them mixed up.
Mira.
Yeah, kind of. But I say mirror, right? But kind of that's one example, but with different words. So I kind of just get them wrong. I also we touched on this last video. I used a lot of sarcasm when we dated and kind of first got married because that's how my family communicates verbally. And, but because, he isn't a huge fan of that, I've done away with that, but that was kind of a big part of my verbal communication before.
I like to quote movies and shows. That's what I grew up doing. We were sarcastic, but a lot of times we got over our sarcasm and kind of just all united as we quoted hours and hours. Actually, the last time all of my siblings and I were together, we just sat and quoted movies for probably about 2 hours. I try to speak with a bit more depth. I was raised by women, so I understand that words have meaning and impact, and so I try to speak with more depth, and try to use. I grew up with a military grandfather, so he indoctrinated in me the use of large vocabulary words to try to get my point across, and I had to use them at an early age because he was tired of hearing me speak.
And then for our verbal communication as a couple, I was trying to think, usually couples kind of have their own little language, and we probably do, but when I was writing out a script for this, I of course couldn't really think of anything. I couldn't give you guys any examples, but just in general, we pretty much talk about anything and everything. Kind of like a day by day, he'll come home from work and he tells me what happened at school, at work, and 2 days a week he goes to a Wing Chun, which is a martial arts class, and so he'll tell me about all that kind of stuff, and then I'll tell him about maybe some of my schoolwork or if I did anything that day or stuff with our kiddo, and then we love to talk about just our future goals and dreams and kind of where we feel like our life is headed. And our favorite place, we've discovered that we love talking with each other at, is in the car. Sometimes we'll even just do this for a date night. We'll just go drive around and we'll just sit and talk to each other. For that reason, that's been some of our best conversations have been in a car. So then moving on to our nonverbal communication, we're pretty great at making faces at each other and kind of knowing what they mean. Shaken, he's got probably some of the best expressions. He has a really expressive face when it comes to his facial expressions.
It's definitely gotten me into trouble a few times because you know what I'm thinking.
Yes. Yeah, really. And it's kind of funny because sometimes we'll I'll say something to him or ask him to do something, but he'll be thinking of something else and he'll kind of make an expression, and I think he's communicating non-verbally back to me about what I verbally communicated to him. So I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? He's always like, just because I made an expression doesn't mean it was about what you said. And it's like, well, that's what it feels like. So that's kind of a fun little factoid about us. But so we thought for the nonverbal part, we will make some facial expressions, show you guys kind of what we do. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Either or. You want to prompt me on one of them?
Okay, yes. So, some of my favorite facial expressions that he makes are his listening and thoughtful facial expression. Just see if we can. Yeah, that's it. Where he kind of looks away. He's kind of nodding a little. It's like he's comprehending what you're saying. it's one of the nice things about his listening skills, because sometimes he's not a good listener. But that's for a
What'd you-
future show.
What'd you say, baby? I wasn't paying attention.
Ha
Sorry, I
ha.
was thinking.
Ha 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 ha. He also does kind of like so our his mother lives with us, and so sometimes she says something and he'll do this like I'm just done with you face. Eh,
She's got Alzheimer's, so sometimes she says some things that are just.
like what are you talking about?
And so I'll look at her as she tells me something like, yeah, she bought me all these toys when I was young, and I always played with them, and she was always at home for me, and I'll just.
Kind of like I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, it's
Like,
over.
I
Like,
can't even respond to this. Basically,
how did we get this far from reality? Like, I know I didn't take a left turn to Wonderland here. Like, I know where I'm at here.
and then he also does an "Are you crazy?" face, like yeah, where he's like just yeah.
My favorite one though is my wife. Sometimes, if the food is terrible when we go out to eat or something, I'll have this.
Terrible, you mean delicious? That's your delicious. I even love
No,
with
no,
this.
my delicious one is the
Oh,
where I lick the top of my mouth like a dog.
yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
We could add that. Oh, I guess we just did.
I guess we just did.
Yeah.
And what about
Okay.
you? Your little funny faces. I love them.
Are you gonna prompt me on them?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
So-
see if I can make them right. Like sometimes it's hard to do facial expressions
So-
on demand.
I just told you a really funny joke that has like 3 layers to it, and you just got it.
Okay. Am I doing it right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, next one.
This one has several different variations for it, depending on how hungry she actually was when she gets the food. But
That's valid point.
she does have one where it's awesome, where she gets food.
Or I get food. Like
Yeah.
get really, really happy. Especially if
That's
it's something that I've been wanting for like a while, like when I was pregnant and had
Yeah.
like a really, and yay!
It's great. I live for it. It's nice. I like it. And then what's your focused and in control face?
So this one I just discovered because I do this one unconsciously. So he had to show me what I do when I am like going through like a checklist or what needs to get done. I apparently I'll tap my tooth.
Mhm.
So
It's usually the other one.
oh, is it the other one?
It's the other hand tapping the tooth.
My other hand is kind of being taken up by a baby. But imagine right hand, this tooth,
Yeah.
and so that's all I do. I just
She'll tap it and she'll
I squint my eyes.
and she'll kind of look around and be like, okay, and then she'll like just zoom right into action. She'll put on this, okay, and it's like a mother trying to get her child out from danger or something. And she just gets it done.
Yeah, that's
So.
me.
That's her. Yeah.
So those are just kind of a little sneak peek into our nonverbal communication with our facial expressions in particular. So now on to our questions for this episode. First question is, what's one of your favorite topics to talk about with each other?
What's your pick?
Oh, my pick? Oh man, I love all our conversations. I love it when we talk about the gospel. That kind of goes back to when we dated. We talked about that a lot. But I also just love sometimes just the simple, like when you're just telling me about your day. It just makes me feel important because you tell me about what happened to you. Sometimes those are the everyday conversations kind of are my favorite.
I love talking about the gospel with her. That's one of the favorite things to do. But a lot of times I'm just so happy that she lets me talk to her about stuff that she has absolutely no interest in.
Like Wing Chun.
Like Wing Chun.
Or a video game he used to play called League.
Yeah, which I'm sure some are familiar with. But she has, absolutely no interest. She'll never play it. I doubt she'll ever do Wing Chun. So it really makes me happy that even though it's not something that is in her interests, that she lets me talk to her about, and she follows along mostly with. She even remembers some of the Chinese words, which is really nice.
I try.
And so, who talks the most in our relationship, baby?
Oh yes, next question. Who talks the most? No, you have to answer this question first.
I definitely do. I probably talk 3 to 4 times as much.
So that is my first response to this question. And in class, we learned that typically it feels like the female talks more, but they actually, both genders talk about the same when it comes to conversation. Yeah. So, like, my first response is you, because you do talk a lot. He is a talker. He'll talk your ear off. And I'm not really, like, super, like, talkative around, like, people. Like, I kind of have to, like, warm up. And then if there's, like, a group, I don't really, like, talk about. I'm more of a listener. But I think when it comes to our relationship, though, I would say it's about equal. Because I do talk to you a lot, and I can kind of get going with you because I'm so comfortable.
When we first got married, it was me doing, like, 95% of all the talking. And now as time has gone on,
Yeah.
She does a lot more of the talking, so I would still say I probably talk 60-70% of the time.
But I love listening to
Well, that's how it feels, and so.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like listening to you as well.
Oh, thank you.
We both don't feel like the other's not listening, and that's important.
For the most part.
For the most part. I can be a little bad.
Well, I can too.
So,
next question. What is your favorite expression the other person makes?
I love your food expression.
My favorite expression.
Or the one where you get the joke, because usually it's me that told it. So it makes me feel good. Both of those make me feel good, because I've usually done both of those.
My favorite is one he didn't show you guys, but that's his crying expression. Because he's a beautiful crier. And I love it so much when he cries. And sometimes, like, if he kind of, there it is, yeah, that's pretty close to it, yeah. He'll start crying in church or something. Sometimes people give him weird, like, kind of weird looks because he doesn't really care how he looks when he's crying, especially when it comes to, like, spiritual stuff, and he's really filled in spirit and he cries. I'm not really a crier, so, like, when we first got married, it kind of freaked me out that he would just cry, because I don't cry in public. But he just, like, no shame, just will be crying in church. And people will look at it so weird, and it makes me laugh so hard, because I think it's great. But I love it now. Now I don't think it's weird. But he's a bit of an ugly crier.
It is.
He's proud of it.
It's hideous, but it just is. I cried for a lot stupider of reasons than the gospel of Jesus Christ, so
Yeah.
I just,
Like for your past girlfriend. Oh, no.
Still.
Okay, so that's all we've got for verbal and nonverbal communications. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Our next episode is going to be about our electronic communication as a couple. So, you guys get to see some of that tomorrow night.
I'm so sad to see y'all go.
Just stop the video.